I recognize the honorable member for St. Christopher 8.
Yes, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, with your leave, I rise again. I want to make a few statements. I'm the Minister of Finance, et al., and so it is incumbent and very important that there are a number of things that I lay before the House or discuss before the House. I want to welcome, of course, all the students who are here with us and the college attendees who are here with us as well to this special sitting just on the eve of our 40th anniversary of independence. I don't think any of them would have been born when we got our independence. And so I want to say to them and reinforce what you say, Madam Speaker, that what they enjoy today is because our foreparents before us would have worked hard so that each can sit adorned in the beautiful college uniforms, whether it's from the Nevis end or from here in Bastia, and that each of them has the real opportunity to one day be the Prime Minister if they so choose, or any other profession that they wish to pursue. I ask you, do not take this for granted. Blood was shed for us all to be here. And so, Madam Speaker, I too am enjoying this 40th anniversary of independence, and I do recognize those who went before me and those who gave their lives so that I can be here, especially those who, in the Buckley's uprising in the 1930s, who died for democracy and a free country. Now, Madam Speaker, let me just speak a number of things. As the Minister of Finance, I want to update the country, and this is, of course, on the current situation with our finances. I would like to say today that we are doing much better than we did last year, and even the year before that, and even the year before that. Our country has rebounded fairly well. And it is because of excellent fiscal management. I don't want that to be lost at all. That because of prudent management and making sure that the integrity in public life law was passed, that the premise on which we govern is now squarely rest upon this or these great principles of good governance. And so our current account, Madam Speaker, just to give you an idea, in 2019 was 189 million plus. In 2020, dropped to 5 million. 2021, it went to 123 million. 2022, 164 million. And 2023, 253 million plus, Madam Speaker, more than $250 million. The primary balance, therefore, in 2019 was 155. In 2020, contracted 19 million, meaning it was in the red, it was negative. In 2021, it rebounded to 98 million plus. In 2022, again, we went back into the red of 65 million plus. And in 2023, it is very positive of $216 million plus. The overall balance, therefore, Madam Speaker, in 2019 was 144 million. In 2020, we were in the red of 29 million. In 2021, rebounded to 89 million. In 2022, ended back up in the red to 74 million. And in 2023, Madam Speaker, presently, this is up to May, $207 million plus. And that is of course, our primary balance. The primary balance, is 216 million up to this point. I will go to the overall balance. Okay, so let me say that again so that we get it straight. So I'll go to the net fiscal position, which is the summary of all. In 2019, it was 135 million. In 2020, it was negative 39 million, and this is from the Ministry of Finance. In 2021, it was positive 85 million. In 2022, it was negative 83 million. So in 2021, there was some rebound. In 2022, we went back into the red. And up to this point, and that was up to May 2022. And up to May 2023, the balance was positive 198 million. So if we compare up to May 2022 to now, the turnaround is over $250 million. That is the turnaround that we have had. And I say that. And with that, I want to thank all those who work tirelessly hard at the Ministry of Finance. I want to thank, of course, all the other ministers who are here who work hard. That these are the facts, that we have worked hard to put St. Kitts and Nevis on sound footing when it comes to the fiscal situation. That cannot be lost. That cannot be lost. And so I want to thank this cabinet that has been working hard. And I would say, dare say, that is why good governance is so important. And we have to strengthen it even more, because it brings a lot of goodwill. It brings the opportunity to build confidence and engender confidence in your own people, but engender confidence across the globe as well. And so I want to say that this is very, very good news. Very good news for St. Kitts and Nevis. It means that our youths who are here, we really are working on securing their future. And we are working to create a sustainable St. Kitts and Nevis built on strong principles, principles of good governance. And I keep saying that word because if it's one word I would like our students to leave with today is good governance and integrity in public life. Very critical, Madam Speaker. Without those, anything else you do will not suffice. Anything else you do will not result in what we want it to be, which are good results. And the principles of good governance and integrity in public life, if we listen to the pastors pray today, that we are a country where we believe in God, it is rooted exactly in that. So if the root is correct and you are planted in the correct principles, it means, therefore, that the tree that result would be a tree that is properly situated, and that will bear the fruits that we expect here in St. Kitts and Nevis. So the more I look at this, is the more I really believe that good governance and integrity in public life is good for the overall advancement and development of our country, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to go on further because I'm also the minister with responsibility for social security. And people know how seriously that I take social security. The reason for that is that social security is still our most important social safety net that we have here in St. Kitts and Nevis. It is very, very important. And I said to the director of Social Security, the chair of Social Security, that the people expect a Social Security that is solid, that is sound, that will not only meet the needs of our people now, but will meet the needs of our people in the future. People expect that when they retire, that Social Security would be there for them. People expect that if they get sick, that Social Security would be there for them. People expect that if the unfortunate were to happen and you were to become disabled, that Social Security would be there for you. And therefore, I am saying, Madam Speaker, that we are very serious when it comes to the matter of Social Security. And so I want to give an update on Social Security. Already we see that our economy is rebounding, and that will give us opportunity to to do a lot of things for our people. Because, Madam Speaker, what I don't want to be lost on this is that we are in the post-COVID situation. We are hit with the post-COVID situation and all that comes with that. We are hit by wars. We are hit by climate change. We are hit by a plethora of external forces, forces over which we have no control, but yet we act as a small island developing state to respond in a way to secure our people and to secure our youths. Madam Speaker, that is why we made college free for our children, because we want them to have access to education. And whether the parents rich, poor, whatever, they're supposed to go to college without stress. What we want them to do is to have one stress in college, and that is to study hard. We want to remove any barrier that would prevent that. That is why I'm happy that they're here today. And I said to the Minister of Education, any more help they can get, you are supported from the Ministry of Finance and so forth. So I want to touch now on the matter of Social Security and the statement that came from the director, and I will read here. Year to date 2023, Madam Speaker, in 2022, year to date being July, that is before I assumed this position, lent to me by the people. I'm here because the people have given me the opportunity. In 2022 up to July, Social Security was in the red, negative $5,964,321, which means Social Security would have paid out more than it was taken in. That's not the best situation. It's a challenging situation. It's a situation you want to turn around as quickly as possible. That is up to July 2022. We would have paid out over near $6 million more than we were taking in. So when the actuarians look at it, of course, this would create a dimmer picture. When the financial persons would have looked at it, they would have said, we need measures to quickly turn this around. Madam Speaker, since that time, Social Security would have brought in the actuarian and would have done consultations with various stakeholders discussing the solvency of Social Security. Again, I was at that meeting because we are determined that Social Security must be secured and it has to respond now and in the future, because that is what people expect. This Social Security was started in the 1970s for our college students by the then Bratcher-led administration under your first national hero, Robert Llewellyn Bratcher, who established Social Security so that Social Security will create a scenario where when people get into circumstances, especially workers, that they would have a fund that will take care of them. Don't take this for granted at all. Because if you were to speak to your grandparents or great-grandparents, there was a time in St. Kitts and Nevis when they did not get holiday pay. You work, no holiday, no pay. These are the circumstances. You work, you get sick, no pay. You work, and the women get children, no maternity leave. You retired, and nothing there for you. So they retired in misery, poverty, and extreme difficult situations. And our first national hero decided with his team that that is not a situation that our people should go through. Our people, as you know, would have come from slavery through colonialization, statehood, and then on to independence. So independence has secured a number of critical social safety nets for us so that we can live as dignified human beings. So don't ever, ever take that for granted. And I, being from the same party of the first national hero, imbued with the principles on which Social Security was built, I am committed to making sure that Social Security does not only continue to exist, but that Social Security would thrive and respond to present day situations. Madam Speaker, with that backdrop, especially for the students who are here, I want to say that up to July 2022, that is last year, Social Security was paying out almost $6 million more than it was taking in, putting it in the red. However, to date, July 2023, Madam Speaker, Social Security is now in the green, which means it's positive. Huh? Green dollars. All right? National colors today. That we are here, Madam Speaker, Premier, and we are now having a surplus. I want people to hear this well. A surplus of $9,611,847. Madam Speaker, the students would know better. The turnaround is not 9.6 million. The turnaround is 9.6 million plus 5.9 million. And if you look at that turnaround, what is the turnaround, Honorable Congress? $15 million turnaround in 1 year. That is something to celebrate for independence. It's good news I bring in for independence, Madam Speaker, with these statements. Good news, good news. So we have turned around significantly when it comes to our social security position.
What changed in that time?
The government changed. 15 million. And so today I stand feeling good that irrespective of what is said, we now have a social security that is much stronger. $15 million turnaround, 9.6 million surplus. That is good news. You know what that means? That when the actuarians look at this again and we calculate, social security solvency can be extended for a longer period of time. So, Madam Speaker, I want to say, to the staff of Social Security, the director, the chair of the board, Mrs. Harris and her team, I have said to her as the minister that we have to get it right. There will not be any shenanigans or any political interference. The only political interference is to get it right. She has worked hard with her team. Lots of cleaning up in Social Security. Lots of cleaning up. Because Social Security also has to respond to the agenda of integrity in public life and good governance. Lots of things to clear up, to make sure that things are not disappearing in places that people can't see. And I want to thank her for responding well. And to thank the director, Mr. Lord, who I helped to say, you know, come and serve your country. He has the relevant experience. He has the relevant studies in terms of actuary and science. He has the resume to prove that. And with all of that, I told him, look, come to Social Security. Help us to make it right. And today, Madam Speaker, the actual change is 261%. So a lot of things can be said, but facts are facts. Alternative facts in alternative universes, those don't apply here. The actual fact is Social Security has turned around since last year, July, 261%, where it has taken much more than it's given out. With that turnaround in dollars is about $15 million to put us in the black of $9.6 million. Good news for the people of St. Kitts. Good news for the people of Nevis. Good news for for our federation. And this puts us as one of the strongest social security schemes in the whole of the Caribbean. Those things must not be lost. What we are seeing in the economy puts us very strongly within the Caribbean. Those things cannot be lost, irrespective of many things that are said. And so, Madam Speaker, I wanted to bring here to show that where we are at with respect to our finances and what we are doing, even in these difficult times, we are holding our own. But I want to say to our people that these are very difficult situations. The situation is precarious. Why do I say that? We are now dealing with climate change. We saw that storm that missed us last week, and we thank God and all the prayers that went up of steering that storm to the north and out into the sea. The cabinet is fasting. I want people to know that. We are fasting and praying. We fast and pray on this side for the whole nation. And in addition to that, we are doing the work that is necessary. So if you see me lose a few pounds, it is because of that. Yeah. If you see the Deputy Prime Minister lose a few pounds, it is because of that.
It's called intermittent fasting.
We are intermittent fasting and praying, Madam Speaker. We believe in prayer too, you know. Okay? We believe in prayer as well. And when you see this turnaround, this can't just be explained by mere man's intervention. Right. We believe that prayer had something to do with this significant turnaround. Madam Speaker, I have my last significant statement, and this is what we call the Independence Reset Statement.
Wow.
Here we go.
This is what we call the Independence Reset Statement. Madam Speaker, I would like to say that Nevis had a humongous freedom concert, you know.
That's very good.
I got pictures from all over the world. Understatement. Madam Speaker, I'm afraid to advertise Nevis now. You know, the last time they had a mango fest, I went over, took pictures, sent them over, all over, said, come to Nevis. It was so nice, Madam Speaker. By the time I reached back over, they said, Dr. Drew, well, everything done. And one boat liner alone, or those speedboat, over 400 petitions registered to have gone. That had nothing to do with the ferries from down here at Port Zante or the other liners that travel across to Nevis. So Nevis has to accommodate the large numbers that will come over as well. And I'm happy that that was excellently done. All right, Madam Speaker, I want to say on this historic Independence Day, my statement said that I stand before you with a heart full of gratitude and a vision for the future of St. Kitts and Nevis. Today, as the leader of the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party's administration, we embark on a journey together, one that we proudly call the Independence 40 Reset. It is a testament to our shared commitment to empower our people, alleviate economic hardships, and most importantly, thank each one of you for your indispensable role in building our beloved nation. Madam Speaker, I come from a party that is called the Labour Party, a party that used to be called the Workers' League. It is founded on the principle, of course, of working together to bring our people together so that we can improve our lives and our country. Madam Speaker, the theme of this organization is unity is strength. And this was this theme since the 1930s. It is a very powerful theme that was born out of the workers since the 1930s. It is not anything new at all. It came from within the movement. And Madam Speaker, our workers have worked hard over the years. And I think that at this Independence 40, with the difficulties that we know our workers and our people are going through, we looked at our situation, understanding the challenges that we have, and I asked, how can we better the lives of our people? And we have put forward a number of initiatives to give people a reset, to draw a line in the sand and to say, before Independence Party reset, after Independence Party reset. Madam Speaker, just this morning, and the Minister of Housing would speak to it, we launched, or we had our groundbreaking, that's how you call it, for our housing initiative. We turned the soil. He'll speak more to it. Where Ms. Buchanan is already identified to receive one of those homes. And the Deputy Prime Minister promised that even food he will put in her cupboard. I'm going to hold him to that.
I will deliver.
And so that has started, Madam Speaker. It is a way to empower all of our people. Now we are looking at land normalization, allocation, and distribution. And to the students, again, I want to say, do not take for granted the opportunity that you would have to own land. Before the 1970s, the land fundamentally belonged to the planters and the sugar estate owners who were from the UK. Very few were from around here, not us, not our color, of course. And they owned that sugar land. And they denied our people access to land. Our people had to live in guts and just outside where the sugarcane boundaries were. Many of them did not own the land. They squatted the land. And they could not build wealth. Your great-grandparents couldn't build wealth. They were subjected to much difficulties. And in the 1970s, the first national hero took the decision to nationalize all the sugar land, especially here in St. Kitts. Not only did he do that, you enjoy Frigate Bay today, and you go from Frigate Bay and you can enjoy the beaches, you can go to the southeast and get over to Nevis.
You can set up your bars.
You can set up your bars.
Permission from Frigate Bay Corporation.
With permission.
Frigate Bay Corporation.
From Frigate Bay Corporation run by us. Why am I saying that? Because before there was a gate on Frigate Bay. Your great-grandparents couldn't enter into Frigate Bay. But today, our people can live in Frigate Bay and own land in Frigate Bay. These things I don't want you to take for granted. People died, shed blood. And our first national hero, he died young. He died at 61 years old. And there's no doubt in my mind that it's the stress and strain that he carried to build the foundation of this nation that also affected his health. A lot of them died young. A lot of those early founders, they died young, except for maybe one who lived a long time, Nathaniel France. He was from Nevis, just to let you know. He was from Nevis. He was a Nevisian who came over from Gingerland, who came over and joined the movement, Mount Lily, and contributed significantly to this federation. So it shows that all of us are here. And because of their great work, today you would have the opportunity to live anywhere in St. Kitts and Nevis. And I'm asking you not to take those feats for granted. And so in a sense, they got the land, possessed the land, and so that our people would be able to buy land. However, the island of St. Kitts is only 68 square miles. Well, while we are rich in human resource, our main asset for transformation of the ordinary lives of citizens is land. However, this has become the scarcest and most highly sought after resource, even with its limited availability. Land has been the backbone of the social transformation of the nation. Tied to home ownership, land ownership was critical for improving our quality of life and providing a sense of place and safety for residents. For some 25 years, since 1998, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis has championed home ownership through access to land. Currently, we have seen significant reversal of the empowerment agenda through land, where several problems in the last few years have made it increasingly difficult for you as residents to either acquire land or maintain payments for your assigned lots. The latter has been linked to the recent downturn in the economy during the pandemic years and the difficulties some citizens face with income, job stability, and need to prioritize urgent medical care. Recognizing the long-term challenges our residents and citizens have faced in acquiring the basic asset, this government, under the leadership of the Ministry of Sustainable Development, has spent the last year revising and addressing some of the critical factors facing land ownership in St. Kitts. The year-long exercise has revealed the following major challenges of double allocations. Double allocations, meaning that there are many scenarios, I think over 400 scenarios, where there are 2 or more names assigned to a lot of land. 2 or more names. Excessive distribution in 2022 mean that they were given out beyond what was there. Distribution of lots which do not exist, which means persons got a piece of land that did not exist. Revocation.
Prior to August 2022.
Yes. Revocation without informing persons who are still making payments. So some persons lost their land without having been duly informed. So your land was just taken away from you. We know that the people have suffered gravely because of these unprecedented circumstances. Therefore, as a strategy for alleviating the pains and delays in home ownership, mortgage access, and registration challenges, we have devised as a government a strategy pathway to land ownership and empowerment. And I'm happy to announce the following changes, improvements, and price structure, Madam Speaker. As of September 30th, 2023, the following will be effective. 1, again, this comes out of our foundational principles that the people of St. Kitts, we know Nevis has a somewhat better arrangement. People have been owning land in Nevis for a long time, and large spaces as well. Reduction, 1, as I go through them, Madam Speaker, because this comes from the principle that we should do our best to get land to our people. We have decided that the interest rate on residential lands has been reduced from 12% per annum to 6% per annum, Madam Speaker. That deserves a round of applause. I want to thank Sustainable Development and those who work on this matter to give us the best scenario. From 12%, Madam Speaker, to 6%. That's a significant decrease in interest rate, giving our people the opportunity to pay for their land, own their land, and add that to their overall financial situation, which means they would have an excellent resource to add to their family portfolio. This is how you build wealth, Madam Speaker. Transferring this land from 12% to 6% to our people, this is strengthening our people, their children, their grandchildren, and others to come. This is our land, and we have to do the best so that our people can have access to it. So from 12%, Madam Speaker, to 6%, the people deserve it. Madam Speaker, more to go. Removal of interest on payments. That's another one. Interest accrued or built up on lots between the years 1998 and 2022 will be removed.
That's right. In full, right?
In full. From 1998 to now, we know that there's some people out there who had difficulties. Maybe they're working for minimum wage, odd jobs, have a piece of land, the interest is accumulating, the interest rate at 12%. They can't meet it, then there are penalties and missed payments and so forth. But we want to encourage our people to pay. You are getting this land as a very subsidized cost. We want you to pay for it so that that can be part of your wealth building apparatus so that you can pass that on to generations not yet born. And so therefore we have taken the decision that all of this accrued over all that time will be removed, and all payments will therefore be assigned to the principal or the main balance. That's it. This is real relief, Madam Speaker, real relief. So effective September 30th, no additional interest will be added to lands distributed / sold between 1998-2022. Hence, applicants are encouraged to pay off the outstanding amounts owed. That would be significant savings for our people, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it's not ended yet. Number 3, extension in period for application of new interest rates. Interest rates waiver have been extended from 2 years after allotment to 3 years after allotment. Interest will therefore be applied to lots 3 years after allotment, Madam Speaker. That deserves a round of applause as well. Each one of these is a significant change when it comes to land ownership here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Our people must be given the opportunity. Our college students are here. This is their land, and they must be given the opportunity to have the best chance to own a piece of land. They are their families. In other words, persons who currently have lots will begin payment at the reduced interest rate of 6% per annum as of October 2026, Madam Speaker. The new reduction would therefore mean that all residential land applicants with outstanding balances will now have a grace period of 3 years, beginning October 1st, 2023 to September 31st, 2026 to settle their outstanding balances. I mean, this September 30th. They made a mistake here. September 30th, 2026. And Madam Speaker, this is of course in keeping with our principles. But we go on further because this is 40 years of independence. At 50 years of independence with a Labour government, you will hear more, Madam Speaker. But I'm speaking to the 40 years right now. We are going to do also, Madam Speaker, extension of period for making deposit on land. All new land owners will have an extended period of 6 months without interest. That is, instead of the traditional 3 months when you had to pay to make the required 25% deposit on new land purchases, citizens will now be given 6 months instead of 3 months. Madam Speaker, the 3 months was tight on people. Imagine you have a lady up the factory working for minimum wage and you give her a piece of land and you say, come in 3 months to pay down a deposit. Where's she going to find the money from? We have to be realistic. These are hard-working people. Where she's going to find it from? She needs a reduction in interest. She needs some more grace period to give her the opportunity in order to pay for that land. Today, Madam Speaker, when we were breaking ground, there was a young woman there who is about to receive the house when it's completed, and she serves at school meals, and she has paid off her land since for some time now, and she said the sacrifices that she had to make. This is a hard-working woman with daughters who are now much more, had more opportunities than her, and taking advantage of those opportunities, and now she's becoming an owner of a home and land, which is strengthening her family's position. But this is a woman, a single mother, who has been working hard. So why is it a government should not respond to these hard-working people? I'm not talking about people who don't want to work. Because one of the things that our founding father said, the father of independence, Robert Bratcher, that independence is not a gift. You have to work. He asked the people of St. Kitts and Nevis to work to get it, to work to maintain it. If we don't decide to work to preserve our democracy and our independence, we can lose it. So we are not to think that is given to us and we are supposed to squander it. We are supposed to work every day to make it better. And she's a good example of somebody who has worked hard and served the community, and therefore the government must respond to her. Madam Speaker, new terms of payments by direct deposit. People will be given much more time to pay for their land, 7 to 10 years. We are extending the time from now, and you can make your payment through salary deduction, direct deposits, and so forth. So we are asking people that with all these new changes, we are also asking you to be responsible as well. Be responsible as well. And so I want to say that for independence, 20, independence 40, that our land situation has been improved significantly. Now, persons assigned land in 2022, the ministry will proceed with the regularization of land for these lots by analyzing each development. Our efforts to regularize the most important asset of your economic and social transformation will be an ongoing exercise. Madam Speaker, I want to say that the situation that took place in 2022 with the land, over 400 lots with more than 2 names on them, 2 or more names on them. 520, sorry, the updated number, 520 has put us in a very difficult legal position. Persons are asking when they can be able to pay for the land. But when you have 2 persons assigned to 1 piece of land, it makes it very difficult. Very, up to, yes, very, very, very challenging. Wow. So we are working through it, Madam Speaker, at this time. And I want to say that with this new land initiative, we can expect in St. Kitts and Nevis that our people will be in a much, much better position. Madam Speaker, I want to also say that there will be a special initiative that will be launched when it comes to land ownership through special bank arrangements where applicable. Again, this type of facility is to help our people, and you will hear more about that, Madam Speaker. So in a sense, when people get land, the interest rate will be reduced. They will have a longer grace period in which to pay for their land. And interestingly enough, or most importantly, I think, for those who have land and would have accrued all of these penalties over all these years, all of that is gone immediately, Madam Speaker, at the end of this month. And so you'll just come back down to your principal. And so we can say to our people, you will be in a better position. Madam Speaker, I'll go on to another part of the reset. And the other part of the reset will be to deal with electricity and water services arrears. Madam Speaker, we took over a Skelec. You look at the situation there. We took over the water services. You look at the situation there. Our people would have gone through a couple difficult years through COVID. Madam Speaker, when we did the assessment, many of them without electricity. Some people make fun and say some people have to light candles. But it's not a laughing matter. It is a very, very serious matter, Madam Speaker. And so they go without electricity for a very long time. The children can't study. Some of them have special medication that have to be at a particular temperature, but they can't keep it at the temperature because of the challenges. Let's think about our taxi drivers, for example, who did not work for almost 2 years. Our bus drivers who had a significant reduction. Our farmers, our small business people in the communities who had to close their businesses because of the frequent lockdowns due to the COVID situation, and then the restrictions that were extended. Madam Speaker, a lot of people were hurt. They had to prioritize whether they should pay a bill or buy a tablet, medicine or bill, medicine or food. We understand the supply chain issues with the increase of food across the world, Madam Speaker. And so this has put some stress and strain on the peoples of the world, not only St. Kitts and Nevis, but St. Kitts and Nevis has to seek to adopt policies that would help to ease the burden of our people. And therefore, Madam Speaker, for those facing challenges with electricity and water services arrears, we understand the plight. And so we are taking immediate action here in St. Kitts. All residential SCELEC and water services, department customers currently disconnected will be reconnected, Madam Speaker. This is a reset. After 40 years of independence, this is a reset. We are saying to the people, we're going to give you an opportunity to have easier access to our most important resource after human resource, which is land. And we're also going to give you an opportunity to once again have basic utility services in your home. These amenities are your electricity and water. And therefore, all those who have been disconnected will be reconnected. We are giving you a new day, Madam Speaker, a new day. So we are taking immediate action when it comes to that. However, Madam Speaker, we encourage all of our people, while we encourage you to consider this deferred payment plan by SCELEC and the Water Services Department as something welcoming, and it gives you a fresh outlook on things, we're asking you to also be responsible. Be responsible. You have on your electricity, tell your children, when you finish charge your phone, take it out. Don't leave your charger plug up. You finish with the fan, take it out. You're ironing your clothes, try to iron as much together. Instead of a shirt today, a shirt tomorrow, a shirt the next day, these things carry up your electricity bill. Turn off the light when you're not using a particular room. If you can use daylight while the sun is shining, open a window, let the light come in, and you don't have to put on the light. Avoid opening your fridge every 2 minutes. You have to go in for something, you're going, then you close it. These measures can significantly help. If you have AC in your home, make sure that it's insulated and all the doors are closed where the AC is operating, the windows are closed and so forth. We have to take responsibility, Madam Speaker, because even with this, we are subsidizing electricity to almost the tune of $9 million per month so that you all can have electricity in your home. In other countries, you don't enjoy this kind of subsidy. People are losing their electricity left, right, and center. But this has been extended to our people here in St. Kitts. And we are saying to you, please take responsibility and conserve as much energy as you can. And it's also good for the environment. Less fossil fuel to burn. And you would have been doing something through those simple acts, not only saving money, but actually helping the environment and the climate at the same time. So I want to say, Madam Speaker, to our people here, please be mindful. We said that let there be light, and there should be light. And we have given you light.
But they're responsible for keeping it.
But you must be responsible for keeping that light. And if you take these simple measures, you show how your electricity bill will drop significantly. And therefore, your opportunities to keep your light on would be much more favorable. Madam Speaker, we want to see people with electricity. We want our people to have access. And therefore, we are saying that those who have been disconnected, you will be reconnected. And if you are disconnected, we are asking you to go into SCELEC to talk with SCELEC, who would respond to you, of course, by making sure that you get reconnection for Independence Party, Madam Speaker. Reset, Madam Speaker. We're also saying to those who have lost water, when you get reconnected, as we are going through difficulties with water access because of climate change and El Nino, something that the students know better than all of us, they're studying these things, that this has caused a drought situation here in St. Kitts and Nevis. In the 70s and so, when we set up our water system, we thought we had even standpipes because we had so much water. You could just go to a standpipe. Maybe you have not seen a standpipe, many of you, but the pipes used to be along the road. You go there and you turn them. They used to be all through the villages. All through the villages. Water was free. I remember one time I saw a tourist with a bottle of water that the tourist bought. I started to laugh. I said, what? People sell and buy water? When we could have gone and gotten water free. You know, St. Peter's had some of the best water. Everybody used to go to St. Peter's to catch water. But Madam Speaker, at this time, water has become a scarce commodity. And therefore, we are asking that we treat it rightly. Let us conserve. For example, do not, you know, some people, they go in the shower and they're brushing their teeth in the shower, spending longer periods in the shower than they should. I'm saying that they should look at that type of practice. Some people, when they're washing the dishes, the water running, Madam Speaker, and they're washing each plate, got a whole gallon of water to wash a plate. I am saying they can simply store some water here, wash, rinse it with some running water after, instead of having the water just running. Madam Speaker, I'm also saying that even with the toilet tanks, if they hear a leak, they should seek to get it rectified and to get it fixed. When you're washing down your vehicles, instead of using a hose, use a bucket. Get a bucket of water with thing and, you know, you clean down your vehicles. These small measures, when you add them all up, they save us hundreds of thousands of gallons of water, which means that we can have better access to water. So while we are reconnecting you, we are also asking you to be responsible. These resources are not infinite. They come with responsibility. Let us remember the words of Robert Bratcher, that we have to work for independence and work to maintain our independence. Let us not only work physically hard, but let us work smartly as well. Conserve water, conserve electricity. And I'm happy that people will get back their electricity. I'm happy that people will get back their water. But I also want us to be responsible with the privilege that we are being afforded today of making sure that we can be a part of the Independence Party reset, Madam Speaker. And that is why the Minister of Water is making sure that we got 24/7 water. Madam Speaker, K-on, drilling, water has been found. 700,000 to 1 million, twice as much. Prayer, Madam Speaker. That is prayer. When they went down, they said, Dr. Drew, the most we might find is 300 to. Then they called me and said, Dr. Drew, we find twice as much. But that's why we're fasting and praying, Madam Speaker. Well, how that can happen? We don't know, but they found it. As a matter of fact, I want to declare that they said that is the largest well ever found in St. Kitts and Nevis. Ever. In the history. We were expecting a small well, and we found the largest well. Those are blessings for Independence Party, Madam Speaker. We have our challenges yet. Yes. But sometimes I remember I used to go to Sunday school up in St. Peter's, Miss Morton Sunday School, Antioch Baptist Church Sunday School. And we used to sing a song, count your blessings, count them one by one, right?
Surprise you what the
Lord has done. I remember that from Miss Morton Sunday School, Jericho Sunday School, that even though you have your challenges, when the blessings are there, you must be thankful as well. So, Madam Speaker, no more darkness. No more house without water. All will be reconnected. Madam Speaker, that is not the end. We're going on to housing. Because we have seen at the NHC that housing arrears need a reset as well. We understand that home ownership is critically important. And this is what the government is going to do. The government recognizes that home ownership is a dream. Your government is eliminating, therefore, is from all NHC your government is eliminating all National Housing Corporation penalties and resetting outstanding mortgage balances to the principal amount for delinquent accounts. Madam Speaker, I want to say that again. So all the penalties that persons would have had on their house mortgage at NHC, that will be removed, Madam Speaker. You hear some people say, seem like my penalty is more than even the cost of the home. We cannot allow that to continue, Madam Speaker. And that is why we are saying here that we are going to eliminate all of that. So when people go to NHC and they see the new balances, they're going to say, what? Wow. Just so? Yes, because this is a reset. Giving you a reset post-COVID. People suffered. I can tell you today in St. Kitts and Nevis, part of the issue is that our people are suffering from a lot of anxiety and depression because of COVID. One, if COVID would have caused some neurological damage. Two, because human beings would have been locked down for so long. Three, the uncertainty of whether you would live or die. Human beings have suffered tremendously through the COVID-19 situation. The United States reported that about 50% of their population reported some sort of mental health matter. Possibly the highest in the history, maybe after the world wars. Because people were literally home, don't know if they will live or die. That is how they felt at least. And this post-COVID psychological situation is affecting the whole world. We are not as cheerful as a world as we used to be because we are suffering from more anxiety and depression. And we should not take these mental health issues lightly. There are a lot of people battling through them, but you just don't know because they're not saying it. As a medical doctor, I know. And it makes it it makes it more challenging to face day by day, the challenges of life day by day. And so, Madam Speaker, that is why we want to give people a reset. So when you go sleep tonight, that high electricity bill off your mind. When you go sleep tonight, that water bill that you've been trying off your mind. When you go sleep tonight, you're not wondering if you're going to lose your NHC house or not because you have an opportunity to reset. We are seeking to alleviate the mental, psychological stress that our people would have been going through since COVID-19, Madam Speaker. No fault of theirs. It's just an occurrence, well, of human existence. Let me put it that way, Madam Speaker. And so the government must respond. And so all these penalties will be removed, Madam Speaker. Additionally, Madam Speaker, because we have to reward people who do well and who strive. But additionally, those up to date with your payments, this government has asked NHC to freeze your interest mortgage for 6 months until March 2024. So if you have been paying well, we are saying that you deserve something too for good behavior. Your payments are up to date. We're going to remove the interest payment. So 100% of your payment for the next 6 months is going to go directly to the principal. For people who don't understand that, in simple terms, they're going to charge you no extra money. What you pay, going to go on the original cost of the house and pay it down faster. Which means if you were up to date, you have an opportunity to pay down the house faster, quicker, own it quicker. For those who were up to date, Madam Speaker. So we want to again encourage our people that with this significant change, try your best to keep up to date because again, I come back, you cannot maintain a democracy, you cannot maintain independence without hard work, dedication, prudent management of resources. These are critical, important things that we must do. And so the housing arrears reset is of paramount importance as it empowers individuals to pursue their dream of home ownership without the burden of excessive penalties. By resetting outstanding mortgage balances and freezing interest for those up to date with payment, it makes housing more affordable and accessible for our people here in St. Kitts and Nevis. This initiative aligns with this government dedication to improving the lives of its citizens and residents and fostering a stable and secure housing market. Madam Speaker, the Minister of Housing is going to speak to it. We have started our housing revolution here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We have decided that people shouldn't have outside toilet, We have launched a program to end outside toilet. Everybody should have a water carrying system. The only thing I'll tell them, don't flush your toilet unnecessarily. Save water. But in this day and age, St. Kitts and Nevis, a man shouldn't be going out and no borehole, as we call them, Madam Speaker. Maybe the students don't know what borehole means. It is an outside latrine system that is not carried by water. It's a serious matter, Madam Speaker. I went by a gentleman. I remember when we did the first one in Keys, I went by a gentleman. he was somewhat disabled, and I asked him where is his bathroom. This is what, since 2013, this is what triggered us, and me especially. I asked him, so how do you use the bathroom? He said he has to use a plastic bag, tie it and try it outside, and it's hard to listen, but there are people who live like that sometimes. We have to know the realities of people in order to respond. And that is why we have started what do we call it? A pit latrine eradication program. And thus far, how much have we built, Minister of Housing?
For the year alone, we had 52.
We had 52. And we're going to accelerate that because we want to get rid of pit latrines by which year?
2025.
By 2025. Should be having a pit latrine. That is what we have determined. That is improving the lives of people. These are the facts. These are ways of improving the lives of people. Because when you give somebody a bathroom, remember the cost, you add value to them as well. Because a wall structure with a bathroom is much more valuable than what they were using before. So that it adds actually to their assets. And therefore, they're even in a better economic situation as a result. But Madam Speaker, we don't want those type of things here. I mean, if they have to be there because nothing can be done, but we are determined that people's lives should improve and improve significantly, and we are going to eradicate the pit latrines. Think it's want to be, of course, a nation where those things don't exist. So we're going to work hard towards that. So, Madam Speaker, I want to say to those that all of these penalties are gone, so when you see your new NHC balance, it should be significantly down. And if you have been doing well, you would recognize quickly that your principal should go down because we're going to remove the interest rate for the next 6 months. So every dollar you pay will go directly to the principal and none of it to interest, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to go on. There's another one that we want to look at, building materials reset. And this one we sent to the Ministry of Finance and asked the Ministry of Finance to study it well and based on where we are at this time, what would be the best scenario we can create? Because our best scenario to create is still being processed. We want to give our people the best opportunity while safeguarding the economy. Again, we took over an economy that was in deficit, and therefore we have to keep that in mind as well. And based on what is happening economically, we have to be very, very mindful. So under the Build and Thrive incentive, your government is extending support for construction and renovation projects up to 500,000 EC dollars. For first-time homeowners, there will be no import duty, no custom service charge, and reduced VAT of now 13% for 1 year. Tell me to repeat that, Madam Speaker. For up to, slowly, your government is extending support for construction and renovation projects up to EC $500,000. For first-time homeowners as well, there will be no import duty, no custom service charge, and reduced VAT from 17% to 13% for first-time homeowners. And for renovations and repairs, the same benefits will apply until December 31st, 2024. Madam Speaker, why have we chosen to reduce the VAT? There was an initial first-time homeowners initiative. But what happened, I think it's lunchtime and the students might have to go, or they're going to come back. What happened? They're going for lunch. Okay, good. Oh, you're providing lunch? Madam Speaker? Wow. I'm happy I voted for a speaker like you. Wow.
My student.
Madam Speaker, up to $500,000. What happened is that we had an initial plan for first-time homeowners. But because there has been inflation, a lot of that benefit has disappeared in inflation. Remember, we don't have control over imported inflation. And so the government responded by determining how can we help our first-time homeowners more. And therefore, we have done all of this, including reducing VAT from 17% to 13%. Madam Speaker, it's a good time to buy a house and build a house. Imagine I hear National Bank coming out with their wow and all sorts of things. They call it wow and apex and something else to come out with 13% VAT. People who go to university, we want when they come back. And look, imagine no custom service charge. We're taking away those things. We are saying to our people, build your house. Build your house. Go to National Bank, tell them you're here because I want to build my house. And this is going to favor a lot of our students who go away and study. They come back with their degrees, they are working. They have to stay in the parents' house till they're 40. I've calculated it. See big man and woman squinging up with their mother and father. We can't allow that, Madam Speaker, and therefore what we are saying, that is why we reduce interest rate on loans, student loans, from 9% to 5%. That is why we say you can go to National Bank and benefit from Apex as a graduate. Because how are we going to keep our graduates here? We have to give them opportunities to live well. And to say to our young people, you too should strive, because college is free. Strive, educate yourself, stay away from crime and violence. Take advantage of these opportunities. St. Kitts is a different, we are creating a St. Kitts and Nevis that are different to a lot of other countries, in the sense that in St. Kitts and in Nevis, you can have opportunities to advance yourself. Take advantage of these things that your government is doing for you. Now, Speaker, look at this. Can you imagine this? First-time homeowners, no import duty, no custom service charge, and reduce VAT now from 17 to 13%. Can you imagine that, Madam Speaker? On time for the housing revolution that the Minister of Housing has started. On time because National Bank is now being told that you have to seek to get more people to apply for mortgages and so forth. That strong bank, giant of a bank, that has rebounded well. And I'll go, I'm sure at the annual meeting this year, they will give an update. And if you have a home, Madam Speaker, we are saying to you, maybe over the last couple of years with COVID and so forth, you know, you couldn't paint it. You know, the windows got old, you need some new windows. You said, boy, the roof might got a little problem here, I need to change out some rafters and stuff like that. You might say, I need to change the sink. No, you know, I need to do something else, make the house look fresh, because COVID has passed. And basically what we are saying here, Madam Speaker, is that we want to give persons the opportunity up to December 31st, 2024 to do repairs on your homes as well. These things are to stimulate the economy, get construction going. Painters, plumbers, electricians, and so forth. Let's get them. A lot of them have gone back to work. We want more to go back to work, Madam Speaker. Build your homes. And therefore, we have created an environment in which our people can really thrive when it comes to land ownership and home ownership, and get an education. These are solid things to help our people to advance themselves, Madam Speaker, in keeping with the principles for the good that we can do, and country above self at this 40th anniversary of independence. So build your independence home. Visit your financial institution. Bring this to them if they don't know about it, so that they can reduce significantly your mortgage if you choose to keep the same size of home. Or you might say, wow, with 13% VAT, I could take a next bedroom at the same cost. Maybe that's the calculation. So go and have a conversation and own your home. So the Build and Thrive incentive is a vital initiative that directly impacts the construction and renovation sector by offering substantial financial support and reducing import duties, custom service charges, and VAT for both first-time home owners and renovations and repair projects. But of course, that is up until 31st, 2024. December 31st, 2024.
For the
which means
renovation.
for the renovations. So, Madam Speaker, this goes without saying. I mean, when you look at this reset, you got lights, you got water, your ways and your home gone, your ways and your land gone, you could opportunity to own a home. And with all of this new activity, more jobs, because we can get into the jobs just now as well. But so, Madam Speaker, that's a lot. But we have one other thing that I want to announce as well.
More still?
Boy, this is a reset. This is a reset. We want our people in St. Kitts and Nevis to remember that when Independence 40 hit, I had a reset.
Yes.
I started over. It was a new day and a better way. Independence 40. This is how we're going to build a sustainable, resilient island state, nation state rather. The reason why we are saying this is that we want people to say it makes sense to live in St. Kitts and Nevis. It makes sense to work hard in St. Kitts and Nevis. And Madam Speaker, I keep stressing that we have to work because the productivity is important. I want to update today, and I'm sure the Minister of Labour may speak to it. The Honorable Sam Conda, who is leading the minimum wage task force or committee, brought in an expert from Barbados to speak about productivity, because we cannot speak about increase in minimum wage and wages and so forth without asking our people to be more productive. Madam Speaker, it cannot work. I have to say the truth. With all of these things that we want to bring to the people, we want to say to the people that you also have to work for it. If you're working and you know your hours are from here to here, put in your hours. Madam Speaker, I mean, maybe because I'm the Prime Minister, I'm sure I work 120 hours a week. I mean, since I'm in med school, I'm working extremely long hours. At some point, I have to cut back. At some point, I have to cut back. Like, the only thing I know is work. I work since I'm 4. Because when I grew up in Monkey Hill, my grandmother said, you have to work. She used to say, Bratcha, say you got to work. So she used to tell me. And you have to work, Madam Speaker, in order to maintain a democracy, and in order to advance your country, and in order to have a better way forward. We cannot leave that out. I do not like when people take advantage of their work situation and don't put in the hours that they're supposed to put in the effort that they're supposed to put in. I have to echo the words of the founding father at Independence 40, that we must work. We must work. But we want, when our people work, they can see the benefits of their work as well, Madam Speaker. So workers, independence, Madam Speaker. So the workers of St. Kitts and Nevis, in the broader sense, have been working hard over the last 40 years. They have brought St. Kitts and Nevis to be a respectable country. We have our challenges, and we have to work on our challenges together, Madam Speaker. And we can't push our challenges under the rug. I am not doing that. I believe in facing challenges head on. When we took over, Social Security was in the red. This cabinet, this team dealt with it head on to the point right now where we turn it around $15 million. People of St. Kitts and the people of Nevis, because there's only one Social Security. That's a significant turnaround. Madam Speaker, when we took over, we were in a deficit. Up to when we saw the numbers, we saw that we have gone, as the leader said, in the black. I said the green, because, you know, greener pastures. Madam Speaker, and that was turned around because the people of St. Kitts and the people of Nevis work hard, Madam Speaker. We are aware of that. Madam Speaker, when we came in, we met a CBI program where there were changes in the world and we had to strengthen it. Madam Speaker, when we moved to strengthen it, a lot of things were said. They don't know what they might do, and so forth. Those kind of statements were said. And today, our program is looked at again as number one. Put your hands together for that. So we had to turn that around, Madam Speaker. We're still in a difficult situation. But I've said publicly that we will do what we have to do to make sure that we are a responsible program. And we will lead the way. And tough decisions will be made. Because at times tough decisions have to be made, Madam Speaker, in order for us to achieve the bigger goal. Have to work to protect this country, the reputation of this country. We have to work to defend and protect as much as possible. And that is what we have done. And so I want to thank the workers from since independence time who have worked hard to maintain us as an independent country. We have grown significantly. I remember the workers in the sugar industry, for example, in the 1980s, used to work for little. Sometimes they work, I remember my grandmother used to get 2 days in the dull season. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, because sometimes they're ashamed to talk about it. But don't be ashamed to talk about it. It was part of our history. And it should be a moment that we should celebrate because that is where we come from. People who lived in the sugar belt, they're going to drop soda, weed cane. What else they used to do? Carry water. All sorts of things they used to do. In the hot sun, aging fast. We used to think that our people used to live very long. It's not that they used to live very long, Madam Speaker. It's that they used to age fast. Because they gone in the sugar cane field from 14, sometimes younger, carrying water, hot sun, can't buy a cream to take care of themselves, ain't got a shower to take a good shower, can't go for a massage, can't go on the beach. They're walking from Cancy morning to Cancy night, and so they age quickly. I remember those days. Those were difficult and challenging days for our people. And then when dull season hit, they only used to get 2 days. And so they asked to survive. I remember I used to go pick up my grandmother little check on a Saturday. She says, go take it. When you open it, sometimes only $50 in there, Madam Speaker. I just asked myself, how is she surviving? But it wasn't she alone. It was a lot of them around. I watched everybody. This is what you all bringing home? That's why I'm working since 4 with my grandmother. That's why I'm working since 4 because I said, well, if she can't make it, I could do something. And I used to carry a message for people, write a little letter here for an old woman, she give me something, and by Christmas I could buy me shoes, me this, me that, because even from that age I recognize the responsibility of working hard and being prudent with your resources. But Madam Speaker, they work hard, sometimes they're the forgotten generation. And the reason why sometimes they're the forgotten generation is that those of us now who enjoy a better living standard, we don't even talk about them. We don't even remember them. It's like history was here and it just passed over and it came to us. And so because we live better than they did, and all of that, we somehow sometimes believe that their contribution was not as significant as we are saying that it is. But they work hard, Madam Speaker, especially those early years of independence. And I want to recognize our first Prime Minister as well, not because he was from a different political party. He was the first Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, and I have to recognize him as well. Those early years were challenging and difficult. Difficult years. And the people work hard, and they continue to strive. And then they reached 2005, when the sugar industry was closed, because the World Trade Organization then said that St. Kitts and Nevis could not have had a protective market in Europe. And so we had to, again, quickly find something to keep the country afloat and keep the economy afloat. Madam Speaker, our workers again responding. Madam Speaker, I want to say to the workers of St. Kitts and Nevis, or the citizens in general of St. Kitts and Nevis, for the hard work and dedication to building this nation. Sometimes, when I look at it, and I look at those who are our heroes, I long for the day when I will see somebody who was not a politician. That is my personal belief, because I believe there are other people who contributed significantly who were non-politicians. They should be recognized as well, and that is why it gave me great pleasure when I recognized 29 persons who would have contributed significantly to the advancement, growth, and development of St. Kitts and Nevis. Between them, they will get the Medal of Honor and the Star of Merit. They have contributed. And most of them gave more than they received. And I think there's a song say, if you give more than you receive, there's a place up there for you, so there's a place up there for them. They gave more than they received. I'm looking here and I'm looking at our sign language interpreter who have been working hard with the deaf community for so many years. Giving more than she receives. Madam Speaker, look at them, providing a service so that those from the deaf community can have an opportunity to participate in the parliament. Something introduced by this government, but I'm sure everybody agrees that this is something that should be done. Giving more than they receive. When you go, for example, to the hospital and doctors up there working hard, giving more than they receive. Nurses and so forth working hard, giving more than they receive. You see people cleaning the streets, sometimes giving more than they receive. Those of us, of our citizens who put in the time. And so we must recognize our workers. We must recognize our people. We must recognize the heroes whose names are not being called. There are a lot of heroes around here. My mind just reflect on them. For example, I can think of persons who contribute to community development, like Mary Nurse from Stapleton. I wonder what type of battery she work on. She just keep giving and giving and giving and giving and giving. Just giving and giving to the least of us. And there's so many others, like how you think about sports, and you see some men, you could think about like Banger from St. Paul's. Banger from St. Paul's who work so tirelessly hard to ensure that St. Paul does well. Just one name, but I can call a lot of other names, Madam Speaker, and you will see that based on what I'm doing now. So, Madam Speaker, I want to say today, for them, if you go to the arts, you see persons who just year after year giving and giving, teaching people to dance, and Valon from up the village, the masquerade man. I mean, just giving. Even Aiden from Keon, Aiden, with the St. Peter's, bringing back the culture. The bowl and the this and the actors and so forth. I mean, people give in. Sometimes I don't want to call names because if I stay in here and call names, it will take me more than a week for how people would have contributed in significant numbers. Madam Speaker, I know but this is Independence 40, and I want our people to know that we appreciate them, our workers to know. In the civil service, Madam Speaker, construction, those who keep the country clean, the police, the nurses, the doctors, the civil servants, all, those who work for themselves, the construction workers, all of the different sectors where people are working, whether it is the orange economy, our singers, our dancers, our musicians, and so forth, Madam Speaker. I just wanted, in a sense, to highlight them. We must never, ever forget them, nor the generations that have gone before us. They have done significantly well in making sure that the Creator St. Kitts and Nevis that we can all be proud of, that we can all be a part of. Madam Speaker, as infamous in his song, he loves St. Kitts bad. He don't know what them talk about. Say, hey, we got problem. But he loves St. Kitts bad. And I want to agree with him. I love St. Kitts bad too, and I love Nevis bad as well. You sing it? Boy, I know my limitations. I'll leave that up for you. Somebody sing a song. Nevis nice. And Nevis nice for you, you know. You know, Kittitians only started to discover Nevis during COVID. Now they can't keep out.
Rediscover.
Rediscover Nevis. Rediscover. Now they can't keep out. Anything you got in Nevis now is book out and oversold. The taxi service, the water taxi service is overwhelmed. Overwhelmed. To the point now where we have to put a similar infrastructure on this side. Right, Minister of Tourism? Yes, we are going to do that because we have recognized that this is a permanent thing, that whoever come to St. Kitts, they should enjoy Nevis as well, and whoever come to Nevis, they should enjoy St. Kitts as well. We are one people. Irrespective of everything, we are one people. So, Madam Speaker, I want to say this to our dedicated workers.
All of that is the introduction.
The introduction, who have tirelessly toiled to shape our country's destiny. Madam Speaker, from all the prudent fiscal management, we started to create some savings. We want to say thank you. And as a token of our appreciation, Madam Speaker, this administration has decided that for all of our workers who are registered with Social Security, as Independence 40 reset, we have done all of that for them. We now are saying to them, thank you, and we will deposit $1,000 for each of our workers. In St. Kitts and in Nevis. People are to remember that Independence 40 was at a time post-COVID. Things were hard and challenging. The government had to tighten its belt, create the fiscal space, and come up with policies to directly impact and benefit the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Your electricity to be reconnected. Your water to be reconnected with arrears taken care of. Your housing situation to be taken care of. Your land ownership situation to be taken care of. Opportunities to own homes afforded to our people. And then we want to say to you that even in these times, that we want you to always have an opportunity to remember that Independence 40 was a significant milestone. We are drawing a line in the sand before Independence 40 and after Independence 40. Before Independence 40, student loan at 9%, 5%. After Independence 40, 5%, even though we did it just a bit before to meet the September semester, or what you call the fall semester. Independence 40, we had to quickly form the Fund for Children, for no child in St. Kitts will die ever again under our watch on this side because the parents don't have money. And we have saved a number of children, have to send them to diverse places to get treatment, and we have even brought in specialists when they can't be moved. Before Independence 40, after Independence 40. Very, very critical. And so why is it we are creating these scenarios? We are creating these scenarios because we believe in creating a sustainable island state. The first sustainable island state that we want to create in the world. We are going to be very bold with it. I want the students to join us. It means we will be dealing with renewable energy. And that is why the federal government, with the Nevis Island Administration, we have embarked together to seek to bring geothermal to a reality. Whatever the politics is, the best politics right now is to bring cheap energy to Nevis people and cheap energy to St. Kitts people. That's the best politics. And we have done that, and we are doing that. Embarking together. We want to have 24/7 water access for all of our people. When you come home, whatever time, you should have water. But of course, use it wisely. We are going to make those investments. We are already investing $30 million at least from our end over here. And Nevis is doing its investment as well. We want to create a scenario for you where you can build your financial base. Hence, reduction in interest rates. Hence, the opportunity to own a home at a low interest rate, much lower interest rate. Take advantage of them. Hence, we are reducing VAT. We want the people of St. Kitts and Nevis to have the opportunity to create a financial foundation, wealth creation that transcends generations. Through land ownership, home ownership, good education. That is what we are seeking to do. And with all of that, we want you to join us, but it can only be premised on a number of critical principles. Principles of good governance and integrity in public life. Good governance at the college. Good governance at the ministries. Good governance in your small business. Good governance at the national level. These are critical things that for Independence 40 we must always remember. We as a people have to decide who we want to be and where we want to go. Are we going to create a sustainable island state to serve all of our people? Or are we going to remain, some of us, in our selfish corners, thinking only about ourselves? The motto, country above self, is a fundamental and deeply profound principle. It was once said by a wise ruler that what is bad for the hive cannot be good for the bee. Think about it. Because some people sometimes in the corner and they say, what is it in it for me alone? Don't worry about what is happening to the country, but think that individually they can do everything for themselves or get the benefits and ignore the country. And I'm saying today, I want us to have a recommitment to the principle of country above self. Because when the country does well, all of us do well. That is the principle that I want us to consider for Independence 40. When the country does well, all of us do well. Let us reset, not only through these benefits, but reset our minds on what we want the next 40 years to look like. And that is why we are saying the sustainable island state is one of the best ways in which we can achieve it. And for this year, I want to announce that we are going to take the budget process on the road. We're going to go to your community center. You're going to come out and meet the technical persons who formulate the budget. You're going to have an input in the budget. Tell the government what you as a man live up a Monkey Hill expecting to be in the budget. We are taking the budget on the road, bringing the government closer to you, the people, so that you can have your input as to what the government intends to do in the budget 2023-2024. So a sustainable island state is where we want to head. Premise on some principles that we have espoused and have espoused in my address to be played tomorrow. A country, premise on these beautiful principles, all of us working together to build that situation where each of us can have the best opportunity to live and to live well. Let us not take our achievements for granted. For when you take them for granted, you lose them easily. Let us always remember, in the words of our founding father, that you have to work hard in order to maintain your independence. Let us reconnect, let us reset, and let us have a better 40 years to come than the 40 years that have passed. Finally say, Madam Speaker, happy 40th independence to all of our people. Let us remember what the theme says. We want to build a country that is resilient, sustainable, and let us do it in a mature way. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable.